Does real estate go up with inflation? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly the relationship between real estate prices and inflation. When we're done with this video, you'll know exactly what the relationship it is, and you'll say, now you understand why real estate is a hedge against inflation. And here's the cool thing. Watch this video. You can impress your friends with your knowledge, number one, and number two, you can also click on the link down below, and I've got some really cool little gifts for you at the very end. So let's talk about that. Does real estate go up with inflation? Well, yes and no. Okay, the relationship between a price of real estate and inflation are correlated, not because they track each other. There's not some index out there that makes that happen. It's just what happens. So the reason people say that real estate is a hedge against inflation is because when things start getting more expensive, so does real estate. But it also depends on what market conditions are going on out there. What really drives price on real estate are two things that you need to look at. Well, three things, but we'll look at them. First of all is population. What's happening in that area? How many people are living in it? How many people are coming into that area? The first thing I do whenever I'm looking at tax deeds in a particular area to own these properties is what is happening economically in the marketplace. I was so proud of my 10-year-old the other day. She said, Daddy, I went to a restaurant and I Gordon Ramsay'd it. And so, because I'm constantly doing that with business, when I'm out traveling, I look at it and go, oh, wow, look at this. But you know how much money it takes them to run this? What's driving this? Why is there a line out that door? I'm not looking at the business itself, but when there's a line out the door, that means there's people. When there's people, that means they got a job. When they got a job, they've got money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So number one, you want to find out what are the economic factors within an area. Okay. The other thing you've got to look at are the trends going up and down as far as population growth. This is a big deal. Okay. There's been a bigger migration, people moving in the United States, switching completely states and everything than there ever has been before since the great, expansion of the West. No one's ever seen anything like that. So the demographics are changing. So you've got to know what's happening. Is this a trending market that's going up or down? So here's a good example. All of a sudden, these markets last year, I'm looking at in like Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, in certain parts of those were expanding because people were going, wait a second, I can work remote and I can work anywhere and I can afford to buy a house in that area. So they're walking in there. Heck, some of our students were buying properties in some of those markets for as little as $10,000, fixing those properties up, and they're worth $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 later on down the line, but it's entry points that people can get into it. You want to look at those economic trends, finding out what's going on out there. If prices are going up, okay, if there's a lot of opportunity out there and everybody's seeking the same thing, so let's just talk about that. If I'm in Waka Waka County, wherever the heck that is, and all of a sudden Mayor Waka decides to build an AI plant, and there's going to be a power plant that goes with that, and then there's going to be a bunch of other things that go, and there's going to be 10,000 jobs this thing is going to create. Well, the value of real estate in that area is going to go up as long as that continues and the builders can't keep up with it. There's another factor that you want to look at is how many houses are being built in the area. Right now, we've got a housing shortage. There's not enough homes for people that want them. There's that factor. There's a lot of people that aren't selling their homes because they're in these houses at 2.5% and 3%. They're like, dude, if I get out of this house, I have to buy into a 7% market right now. That's called inflation because everybody says, I'm going to hang on to the house. Same amount of people searching and trying to get fewer properties because it's not keeping up with the pace. So there's all those factors that are involved in that. Does real estate go up, or down, I should say, with real estate? Kind of not. There is not a locked-in value with both of those. Shift in demands, limited supply, construction costs, that's another factor. Regional variations depending on lot. I have never seen the local politics of things be a bigger factor than I have right now. We all know what happened with COVID, and some people didn't like the way certain counties handled it, and so they moved to other places. That was a factor. Never saw that coming. Here's another factor. I'm finding these podunk places. I've got a niece that lives in a podunk little town. She wouldn't mind me saying that. She's proud of the fact that she does. I don't even think the stop sign works. You get that stop sign? There's not even stop lights there. Super small. Yet her husband is an ER doctor because he doesn't work there. He drives in and works 3 days and comes back home. She works remotely, so they thought this is the perfect place to be raising our kids, is somewhere remote. A lot of people are doing that. There was a time when I said, do not look for properties in tax liens or tax deeds in these smaller markets, when that's completely changed now for me, because those markets are valuable because of that. Okay, unless you live in Washington D.C., then you got to go back to the office. Okay, I'm just telling you. He said so. Okay. Anyways, there's another factor right there. Okay, so if you're in the D.C. area, and over the last 5 years, nobody's been coming into the federal buildings. And so they start going, I'm just going to move over here. I'm going to do over there. Then they get back in a car and start doing a commute. You think that might not have an effect on somebody says, I'm not doing this drive anymore. Okay, I like picking up the kids. I like doing all these things. Honey, let's move closer in. Or they just say, I'm moving closer in. You're coming with me or not. But those are the things that I'm looking at. I don't look at one thing to peg a market. Do real estate go up with the increase of inflation? Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. While inflation, can reduce your purchasing power when it goes up there, you've got that value of the piece of real estate that helps you out with it. Now, if you're new to this, and you probably are, on this, you've never seen it. You could be a seasoned investor, but never heard of investing in tax liens and tax deeds. You all know that that's what I do. And I would highly recommend you look at that, because I'm going to tell you this, not just because I do it. It's a specialized market. You have to get a lot of training on that. But I mean, if I'm buying a property that's already increased in value from inflation, but I'm able to get it at 50 cents on the dollar or less, why would I not do that? Okay, so yeah, things go up and down, but I mean, here's a really good example. I had some properties during the financial debacle when all the mortgage swaps were going on, and it was a calamity. Real estate markets in some places dropped 25, 30, 35%. And I was kind of laughing at it at first, because I owned most of my properties because I had got them so cheap. And then when I realized, obviously as the thing was dragging on, this was a lot more serious than I expected on it. But I also realized I had myself in an inflation-proof deal. The values bucked down a little bit, but I was in them so low that when they started going up, I just wrote it that much more. Okay, now listen, I've got a lot of information in this video. I've got even more in a free course, free. The inflation price is right, it's free. Okay, click on the link down below. I've got some brand new training. I put into some nice information to get you from step A to B and show you and your family how to find financial independence. This is Saen Higgins saying God bless and good luck. We'll see you out there.